No, that is absolutely true. Rex Andrews is a very, very smart technician. I think that's going to be the story of the match, is maybe the technique of Rex Andrews against the shocking brute power of those Gary J strikes.
Yeah, he's quite a striker, a lot of power.
We are off to a start here with a little banter.
I think they're just trying to divide the elves. And if he thinks I'm going to take direction from him with that loud shirt, he can think again. He's going to have coal in his stocking this year.
You can't be dictated to, Roy. I'm discovering this already about you.
Absolutely. Again, those relationships that only lasted like 30, 35 minutes, you see, I hope ours will last a whole lot longer, at least until intermission.
We'll aim for it. In the meantime, these two guys are probably going to beat the crap out of each other because they're already jawing at each other. And I think it's going to be interesting to see who tries to take control of this in the early going, because both of these guys are kind of cerebral, but Gary J is a full-pace wrestler, whereas Rex Andrews likes to slow it down, I think, a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic unfolds.
Tyler, what do you think?
If you're Rex Andrews, you got to get Gary J off his feet. You don't want him throwing fists, throwing chops, anything like that. You want to keep him down.
Crowd getting behind Gary J early. He's of course not a native Texan, but he's somebody who's wrestled all over the state. Anarchy, Inspire Pro, all over the state of Texas. So he's very familiar with his fans.
We've seen him right here in IHWE as a member of the submission squad.
Well, again, like I said, we have one of the best fan bases in the country here at IHWE. They're not the fickle kind. Whenever they root for somebody, they like them forever, and it's good to see that it's just getting the support and getting behind one of our expats here tonight.
Absolutely, very knowledgeable fan base here tonight. Gary J, I think, maybe needs to keep a distance here. I don't think he wants to get into a grappling contest.
That would be a big mistake on Gary J's part.
Single leg up and over a reversal, though. Gary J's holding his own. Isolating that arm. I mean, that's really the strategy for Rex Andrews here. But Gary's able to counter. Nice arm wringer into a top wrist lock.
Look at that was nasty right there. That was not in the holiday spirit.
No, that was wake up and fight, and I think that's what's going to happen. Oh, man.
Tyler, this looks like your last family's Thanksgiving right here.
It does. Were you there? Did you see it?
God, that looks like the first stage of the CTE. And Gary J, Rex Andrews is taking a break. He better watch out because Gary J's not afraid to fly.
Look out.
Hashtag played. I think he just played himself with that.
I think he was in a good position to sort of block the impact. Maybe not this time, though. He's coming in high. He's almost throwing forearms on impact to that head. Gary J's retreating.
Yeah, the bathroom's to the right there, pal. This isn't a bathroom break time, unless you want to shave.
I hear there's no timeouts in professional wrestling.
That's the rumor, but man, that's the only thing any of us is going to hear for the next 5 minutes. Because that's gonna...
My ears are ringing. They said bells will be ringing. My ears are ringing from that blast to the chest.
Well, one of the things to watch here, by the way, is that Gary J's a southpaw. And I think sometimes that throws off the strategy of a technical wrestler, so it's going to be interesting to see if Rex Andrews is thrown off. Big chop returning fire.
Well, as a southpaw myself, you never know what you're gonna find when you have a left-hander in there, because he can get you from all sides there.
If you're Rex Andrews, you might want to isolate that left arm and try to take it away from Gary J.
Absolutely, it'd be a smart strategy, especially if the consequences of not isolating it or having your chest caved in again. Look, as long as this stays on the floor, I think this is to Gary J's favor. I mean, we don't think of him as a brawler in the sense of like a Bruiser Brody, but in the sense of a guy who likes to fight, that is absolutely Gary J. And right now, they're on the floor. That's his domain.
Gary J, not seen too many fights that he's not interested in taking part in.
I mean, he travels all over the country. Probably one of the most well-traveled professional wrestlers in all of the independents today, I would say, Gary J. Oh!
Shades of Stan Hansen there with a crazy lariat with a quickness.
Yeah, the precision of that, getting up, nice roll through into that big lariat, huge, big European uppercut. Nice strike to the body. He's striking him everywhere he can.
like Rex Andrews trying to match Gary J strike for strike here. Maybe a mistake, but it's working for him at the moment.
Nice form on that belly to back. Dead center of the ring, too. Good opportunity for a pinfall attempt. Gary able to fight out. I mean, Tyler, what's the strategy in your opinion here for Rex Andrews? Obviously, he's a good technician. Is there something you think he should be doing? Well, as I say that,
absolutely, you got to take those arms away from him. The chops that he throws, the velocity behind them. I mean, you got to get rid of that. You saw what happened to his chest outside the ring a second ago. If you're Rex Andrews, you don't want any part of that anymore in this match.
No, and Roy, as I understand it, you're a big fan of bending the rules. So what rules should Rex Andrews be bending here?
He should forget about the rules. The rules are out the window. A guy like that, think about it. Think about it from a job interview standpoint. Does that look like a guy that's going to read the employee handbook? He isn't.
No.
So in terms of rules, there are none. Win by any means necessary.
He looks like the kind of guy who might eat the employee handbook.
Well, yeah, and spit it back out at the interviewer. And so that's what he needs to do. He needs to look at him as somebody that is in his way for getting what he needs and have no mercy, which he's not really known for.
Well, this is a great strategy. I mean, he's got isolated in the center of the ring. Nice technique on that armbar. Good leverage hold there. But you got to watch out for those strikes because Gary is so unpredictable in how he throws them.
You try to take away one arm, but Gary J does have another, unfortunately for Rex Andrews.
Wow.
There was something very, very Bob Uecker about that wind-up right there. I almost found myself thinking to myself going just a bit outside.
The technique there is really clever. You see a lot of guys, they almost give up when a guy takes the momentum in the opposite direction. Rex Andrews just held on and said, nah, I'm not done with that arm.
Right. Well, Tyler, what we'll tell you about, a lot of the action that we see here, we love the never give up spirit here in the IHWE. But if anybody might be on the verge of tapping out, you won't find them here in the ring tonight.
No, there's no quitting the guys in this locker room, and you're going to see that here tonight. We're here to celebrate a birthday, the holidays, and have a few good fights, and that's what Gary J's interested in. But right now, a little bit on the downside here with Rex Andrews.
Stomping a mud hole in him there in the corner. So we got a moment here. I want to thank our sponsor, Weekly Wrestling Podcast, at Weekly W Podcast on Twitter, weeklywrestlingpodcast.com. Thank you for sponsoring this big event, Jeremy's birthday bash. And as I say that, Rex Andrews is taking complete control of this matchup.
We would invite everybody listening and also people watching at home and everything else to tune in each week to Tricky Kid Radio. We have weekly announcements here for IHWE. We have all the big stars all across not only the WWE, but also with the independents, as well as different athletes, authors, and all types of different, lots of fun. Again, that's Tricky Kid Radio. Go to iTunes and download. It's free each and every week, and it keeps shows like this rolling and in large and in charge.
Absolutely. Dylan, you'll learn there's no bigger Roy Turner fan in the world than Roy Turner.
Why should there be?
I don't know.
I happen to be the host of that program.
It's got to be somebody, right?
Right now, what I can tell you for sure is that Gary J's not a fan of Rex Andrews because his arm is in serious trouble. And you know what? He's still throwing strikes here, but I'm actually seriously worried about that arm. Look how he's carrying. He's carrying low to the waist there. Nice knee to the gut. Gary, big forearm, though. I think Rex Andrews has been fooled into trading. I'm not sure that's smart. He's heavy-handed himself, though.
That kick, though, might be smart. Gary J may not have too many strikes left in him. Well, maybe I'm wrong because there's a knee right to the face of Rex Andrews.
Well, forgive me. I had to divert my eyes from that hideous beard. I can only stare at this like ZZ Top cosplay for only a few more minutes.
That was a sharp-dressed lariat there by Gary J. Rex Andrews is on his back. This crowd is behind Gary J at this point. There's a lot of ZZ Top fans in Texas, so that might be part of the appeal.
Absolutely. And we have the best fans in the world here.
Gary's really feeding off this crowd. I mean, but look at that arm. Look how he's carrying it, guys. I mean, that is he's like at maybe 20% use of that arm right now, and he can't even hide. He can't even disguise it. Rex Andrews can see that. Oh, my God.
Whatever was left, that left arm of Gary J, he may have just used up on that chop, but it hit the mark for sure.
Do you know what? That might have been a mistake, though. Why use that weakened arm? But, God, he's tagging him.
Well, he's just running on pure adrenaline right now, which, like you said, can end up costing him if he can't finish the match in time before the adrenaline wears off.
That's it. This could be it. This could be right here. Oh, my God. That was exceptionally close.
Just getting that shoulder up.
And like you said, he might be regretting that because he could really use that arm right about now.
Yeah, that could be the difference between being able to hook that leg just tight enough or not having the juice left. You know, it's a weird thing to say, but your muscles almost atrophy when you dehydrate as well. And these guys have been going at it for a while now.
Well, sure. And as Tyler can tell you, a veteran like him should know better than making such a rookie mistake.
Nice. Oh, underneath.
This might be it right here. Gary J able to get out at 2 still.
That was very close. We had a great angle on that, and there was maybe a half inch of a kick out there. Oh, that's a Fujiwara armbar, dead center of the ring. Gary's got just enough leg strength to scoot here. Rex is not quite high enough up on the shoulders. He gets the rope.
Great ring awareness there. What he lacks in taste and tattoos, he definitely makes up for in ring awareness.
It's very fortunate for Gary J. We've seen he's barely able to lift that left arm, and if he wouldn't have gotten to the ropes there, I don't see him being able to get out of that.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I think that was a situation where he was just scrambling almost out of desperation. But again, that ring awareness pays off. He is a veteran. He has traveled all over this country for professional wrestling. Chases in. Oh, my God. I thought it was going to be some triangle variation. Boots him in the face. Oh!
Oh, my God.
That's got to be it. Oh. He stuck him. You know what? I can't look. If you can kick out from that in the dead center of the ring, you're all man, so to speak.
Well, he's really showing me something here. His agility and his ability is never give up spirit.
Here he lands on his feet, roll through.
Drop kick right to the knee.
Back to that arm.
Yep.
He's going for that arm bar.
There's no way. There's no way he can survive another.
He's got full extension. That's it. That's it.
It is over.